of Indiana, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And you'll note Tyler Pasher is not in the 11 this evening. We will likely see him as a substitute at some point in time. A lot of the offense will fall on Iose and Dane Kelly.
Yeah, and I think, you take a look at how many miles he puts in and the pace he puts in. If he comes off that bench the last 25 to 30 minutes, he's going to bring a spark.
And we flip through the Memphis 901 FC lineup, and obviously Cam Lindley, a player we touched on early in the broadcast, but a familiar face in the left wing, Elliot Collier, who spent the back half of last season with the Indy 11. He's got 6 goals this year as he continues to be loaned from the Chicago Fire, this year to Memphis 901 FC.
And I tell you what, towards the end of last season, we started falling in love with him. He brought stuff, a little bit of dynamic play. He's a tough player. He's got good pace. He's a finisher. He's good in tight spaces and good in the air as well.
Now you see the hometown kid in Cam Lindley. Had a chance to talk to him earlier this week on Soccer Saturday. That aired this morning. And he is absolutely giddy about playing in Indianapolis tonight. We thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer here on MyIndy TV and ESPN Plus, our penultimate home game for the 2019 regular season. After tonight, just 2 more matches left for the Indy 11. And having to knock that away is the netminder in Caldwell for Memphis. And it will be a goal kick coming up here, and that was a bit nervy for the visitors in the opening minute.
Yeah, frustrating way to start. I mean, the ball drops in, and you're trying to hold players off, and that's one of those ones you're under pressure. It's early in the game. Just knock it up the field.
Dane Kelly, 7 goals this season. That's second on the Indy 11. Tyler Pasher's been stuck on 10 for some time, and that has been part of the problem in this recent bit of struggle for the Indy 11. The road losses since they were last here at Birmingham Legion, at Atlanta United 2, at the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and then on Wednesday to Ottawa Fury FC. And you see Drew Connor. He was one of 3 Indy 11 players during that 4-match road trip that picked up a red card at some point in time during a match. Some unscheduled roster rotation for Martin Runny during that time.
Weird stretch on so many different levels. You got a red hot team, and then you hit a 4-game losing streak. You got a schedule that kind of compresses. Everything's on the road. Then you get 3 uncharacteristic red cards. Everything was just a little weird over the last 2 weeks.
Eligio Eriguin is our match referee this evening. We referenced in the open of the broadcast that Evan Newton not in uniform tonight, that Jordan Farr is going to spell him. Other injuries of note tonight for the Indy 11, presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. And this team is all of a sudden thin on the right side. Lucas Farias, Macaulay King, they've both been out for a couple of matches now. Farias a little bit longer with their respective injuries.
You pay the injury report at some point in the season. The game is too demanding. The season is so long. There's just no way to avoid it. And Indy dodged it for the first few months of the year.
Especially when you play 11 times in just over 40 days to end the season.
Right.
This Indy team dealt with injuries like Ilya Illich and Eugene Starakov early, as both those players missed most of the first 3 or 4 months of the season. Illich, of course, in the starting 11 tonight, and literally the ball finds him on cue.
That's a tough 50-50 ball.
Kelly knocked to the turf, and a foul will be whistled against Memphis 901. Time now for the keys to this match. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Much as we said to start the broadcast, find Iose if you're Indy.
Right, there's a tough thing. I mean, you look for him. He's got such creativity. It can open up the game like nobody else in the league. And for Indy 11, also stretch the field, go north, south, east, and west. Open the field to create larger attacking channels. For Memphis, counter, move the ball quickly in repossessions. Try to catch Indy in transition, and then when he comes in, he's going to have rested legs. Keep him on his right. He's due.
A long look at Jeff Caldwell. He's been the starter in 27 of 31 matches for Memphis this year. Hackshaw the target from Iose. Eventually Barrett will settle for the Indy 11 and simply play it back to Jordan Farr. Farr making his 7th appearance of the season in league play as he airmails that one for Drew Connor. He did appear in both U.S. Open Cup matches for the Indy 11 as well. Second-year man out of Oregon. There is a lot of belief in his ability to come in and spell Evan Newton. when these two teams played back on June 8th, Evan Newton was injured in that match, and Jordan helped keep the clean sheet over the final 30 or so minutes of that match at AutoZone Park.
He's been fantastic. I think it was great that Indy was able to re-sign him, and you take a look at the comfort you have as a goalkeeper when you've already got a win against the team. As a backup, you don't get many starts. You don't get much time. And so when you do see the same opponent that you've started against before, there is a comfort level with it.
And a foul has been given to Memphis 901. Wes Sharpie, left back, whistled for the violation. And look at Jeff Caldwell. He is one of 6 current members of the Memphis 901 FC roster that are on loan from a Major League Soccer side. He is one of 2 on loan from NYCFC. Navoa, the flick for Kelly. Kelly gets in front of Sharpie. Kelly can't knock it past Caldwell.
What a great little flick by Navoa, and Dane Kelly's right on the end of it, is able to hold off that defender, but just not able to get the final touch.
Take a look at the combination work here. And in our brief times of seeing Navoa, this is just his 6th match of the season and his 4th start. One of those early August acquisitions by the Indy 11. We have been impressed with how generous he has been, that as a striker, he is always looking for his running mate off to either side.
And not only is he looking for him, but he can, I mean, that was a great one-touch ball into the only pocket that Dane Kelly could get it. It's a good vision to see it, clever touch to be able to deliver it.
Navoa does not have a goal nor an assist just yet. However, we've been impressed with him. Martin Running in his 2nd season as the head coach of the Indy 11. Most regular season wins in a campaign, 17. Most road wins in a campaign, 6. Most points in a regular season, 56. All on the resume of Coach Rennie this season. Yet at the same time, that kind of puts this recent spell of poor form under even bigger microscope. This is the first 4-match losing streak the team has had since literally matches 3 through 6 in franchise history in early 2014. This team has been really good until the last 2 or 3 weeks.
And then you take a look at the run that they've had in this building and how well they're doing at home, and it's the perfect time to find yourself back at Lucas Oil Stadium.
It's like the training ground from a season ago. Elliot Collier versus Carl Wimet.
I tell you what, he looks a little thicker. He looks a little stronger.
This is Tim Mulqueen, head coach of Memphis 901. They're an expansion franchise. He's a guy that has had a lot of experience at the Major League Soccer level. And of course, there is a strong MLS tie to Memphis 901. We'll explain that in a moment. Opportunity developing here for the team from Memphis, and Hackshaw kind of waited for Jordan Farr to come get it. He didn't, but he'll find Ioze and play that ball out to safety for Indy. So for those that do not know, Tim Howard is part of the ownership group of Memphis 901 FC, and barring a potential playoff match for the Colorado Rapids, which could happen depending on what happens on decision day tomorrow in Major League Soccer, Tim is playing his final match as a professional tomorrow afternoon.
Allegedly. Allegedly. If you're one of the top goalkeepers in the history of the game, and you're part owner of a club, and you live in that area, I don't know.
You thinking that he might become the first owner goalkeeper at some point next year for Memphis?
I don't know. I don't know. But it's worth a thought.
Ioze, the target, flag stays down. He'll play it back to Hackshaw. Hackshaw looking back post. Illich. Caldwell pokes it away but keeps it in play, but does give himself time to recover and resume his normal positioning. Connor. Illich.
Oh, what a find.
Right foot. Walker. Was not able to put a shot on frame, but the attack continues for Indy. Hackshaw puts it far from frame. This match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong.
Okay, we're talking about community health, talking about sports medicine. Just to carry on with that one thought, take a look at this situation. If Tim Howard is part of Indy 11 and Evan Newton goes down, you wouldn't be excited to see the owner sitting on the bench with a jersey right now, just in case, just in case.
Connor, ball knocked away from him.
I tell you, this is shaping up to be a physical match. Every 50-50 ball is meant body on body.
Walker flicks it forward for Kelly.
Oh,
Kelly is onside. Kelly with the cutback. Kelly right foot. Caldwell makes the save. Walker the flick. No Indy 11 player close by. Well, frankly, this is playing out kind of the way that Martin Runny indicated it might when he and I had a conversation yesterday. And here's the reason being. Neither team's really happy with a point tonight. Indy wants to get 3 to get back. If they can't get in the 1 seed chase, at least help secure a home playoff game in round number 1, potentially get to as high as number 2 in the table. And if you're Memphis, you're 5 points out of a playoff spot with 4 matches left to go, and you've won 5 of your last 6. Nobody's packing in tonight. Both teams are going to go for it, especially early in the match.
And I'll tell you, for Memphis, they are red hot. They're playing with an unbelievable amount of confidence right now.
14 goals in their last 6 games. Their only loss has been to the team that is now in first in the Eastern Conference, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds of head coach Bob Lilly.
Can you believe that? Just gradually clawing their way in there. So Bob Lilly-ish.
By the way, look at Dane Kelly. You can see that Liam Doyle kept him onside.
What a ball by Kenny Walker. What a ball by Kenny Walker.
Caldwell with the save. He had 73 of these coming into the season, or coming into tonight's game. He has been tested a lot. He's allowed 37 goals, just 6 clean sheets for Memphis, this young team. That's not surprising so far on the season. Lindley standing over this one, waiting to restart. Lindley, one of the candidates for Player of the Month in the USL Championship, has 5 assists in his last 4 matches. Illich draws the foul. Let's make sure he is all right. Tugging at that left ankle. This is already a beaten up team. And just got stepped on. Easy to diagnose what happened there. Pierre De Silva is the guilty party. Fan Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship in many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Ouimet's able to weave his way around Marcus Epps. He is on loan from New York Red Bulls. So both NYCFC and Red Bulls currently have players on the field for Memphis 901 FC. Ioze, 3 goals and 3 assists for Indy this year. His contribution, frankly, larger than that. Great move by Hackshaw. Swept away by Lindley. Throw in coming for the Indy 11.
Where the heck has he been hiding that? That is incredible.
I'd say probably in his hair. It's a good place
That's where
to
he keeps
hide
those
things.
extra moves.
You and I don't have that luxury.
We don't hide
does.
anything.
Cliff Bar Baking Company, Indianapolis, is proud to team up with the Indy 11, provide meals to IPS students through their Meals for Miles program. And a corner coming for the Indy 11. It'll be Walker that will take it to this direction. Walker, the team leader in assists with 4, but he's been sitting on that number for quite some time. Had one of the goals of the season earlier this year for Indy. His lone tally in a 2-1 victory early in the season. Flicked by Kelly, back post, Novoa! Christian Novoa gets his first Indy 11 goal. And for the first time since September the 14th, the Indy 11 are in front.
What a great ball. That's a tough, because it takes a little deflection in the middle. He's only got a little time to react to it.
And how about Dane Kelly picking up his 4th assist of the season? You could make the claim there should be a hockey assist there. Give one to Walker, give one to Kelly. A thing of beauty and a much-needed early goal for the boys in blue.
And that's a tough ball, too, because he got in so far, so deep. He had to lean back for it, just make sure he could get his head to the right place to be able to play it past Caldwell.
Christian Novoa, his first Indy 11 goal. Dane Kelly now joins Kenny Walker in the team lead and assist. And more than a spot of confidence was needed for this Indy 11 team after dropping 4 in a row. A goal to the good, some 13 minutes in. Novoa, a native of Venezuela. One of 4 players added by the Indy 11 in early August. He, Nico Perea, Gabriel Rodriguez, and Drew Connor. Hackshaw walking Collier to the byline, and Collier did just enough to get Neville to touch that ball. Corner coming for Memphis 901 FC.
It's so rare that anybody can play a ball into that channel and not have Indy come out of it with either a goal kick or Neville just stepping in and taking it.
And while Indy gave up 10 goals while they were on the road during this recent run, they've only given up 5 goals at home this season. Ball sent in. Illich, the first to get to it. That ball sent in a little bit prematurely. Guys weren't back on side yet. Did fall to the feet of Doyle. Couldn't do anything with it. And Novoa, yes, carved out a bit of space that time. Whistled, fouled against Novoa, called against Novoa. This portion of this match presented by Keystone Construction. It's more than construction. Keystone Construction, we build a vision. Looking to the post. Iose got there first. It will be a corner.
And I remember that from last year too. Collier's just so pesky around the ball. You can't get a clean touch. He presses you so well.
Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any Indiana Members Credit Union branch, or log on at imcu.com today. Illich again got there first. And then knocks this one back towards midfield. This is as good a time as any to point out the roof is actually closed tonight. It was scheduled to be open. There's just enough of a chance of rain in the next hour or two that the roof then had to be closed right before the game started, because that ball from Illich nearly hit the roof. Far. Again, wandered kind of outside of the 6, but Epps was ruled as offside. Restart coming for the Indy 11. In that last 4-game road swing that the Indy 11 had lost, they had allowed 7 goals compared to just 1. Misspoke earlier when I said 10. It felt like it's 7 allowed during those last 4 matches. And the 3 they allowed against Pittsburgh last Saturday, the most that the Indy 11 have allowed in any match this season.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, if you watch those goals that Pittsburgh struck, every one of them was a highlight reel.
Canardo Forbes hit 2 of them, and he was named the USL Championships Player of the Week for his efforts. Barrett let that ball get past him. Good double back by Ouimet to break up the opportunity. The possession short-lived for Indy. Collier knocks it forward. And again, knowing how important 3 points are to Memphis, they will attack, which will leave openings like this. Novoa has Kelly sitting back post. Iose behind him. Kelly the target. Doyle got there for Memphis 901.
Tough bounce.
And De Silva will spring it forward. This is fast break soccer that these two are playing right now. Collier does have a goal in this building from a season ago. Epps trying to add to his total.
Great pickup.
The short hop, a beauty by Jordan Fall.
That's so tough. That's so tough. Normally you just try and flip it around the bar. Don't have to deal with any kind of weird hop, but he handled that so cleanly.
This portion of this match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. In the 4 starts that Jordan had up until this point, 3 wins and a draw. A victory at Loudoun United, a home victory, a shutout against Atlanta United 2, another clean sheet, 3-0 against Birmingham Legion back on June 26th, and a 1-1 draw against Lou City on June 29th. And you referenced the highlight reel nature of the goals that Pittsburgh scored against the Indy 11 last week, the 2 goals that Farr has allowed as a starter both were highlight reel goals.
Right. I think one was against Pittsburgh, right? In a rainy.
That was at the U.S. Open Cup.
Open Cup. Good night, Raidstrom.
By the way, quick score update. Another huge match in the East tonight. There are several of them. But North Carolina has a 1-0 lead against Red Bulls 2. North Carolina has really been in a spot of bother as of late. They have dropped down to 7th in the Eastern Conference. There was a scenario about a week or so ago where for one night there were 5 teams separated by a point in the East. Navoa showing some pretty impressive flexibility, trying to lay a boot to that ball. Throw in coming here for Neville Hackshaw. Navoa just his 4th start of the year. Native of Venezuela. We credit Venezuela native Juan Guerra, top assistant this year for Martin Rennie, for tracking down that player. And Kelly being his typical general pest self, and it leads to an opportunity. Ioze plays it across, and it'll be a corner coming as Sharpie could not take the chance. Heads it across the byline.
Smart play.
Corner coming for Indy. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL and ESPN throughout the 2022 season. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home for all things USL. At least 19 matches featured on ESPN networks, including 9 on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Short corner. Ioze,
good serve.
And to it, goal number 2. And that belongs to Carl Ouimet. This is like going back in time. This was an offense a year ago that was corners and restarts. Right. 2 goals off of a couple of corners tonight, and a 2-goal lead for the Indy 11. For Carl Ouimet, his 2nd of the season. And for Ioze, his 4th assist of the season.
How many times was it last year, not just the corner kick, but Ioze to Ouimet in critical moments? That's such a dagger right now, put into Memphis.
Again, in 4 road matches, Indy 11 scored once. Home sweet home. 20 minutes in, they've scored twice. Indy has now outscored Memphis 5-0 in about 110 minutes of soccer so far this year. A 3-0 win back on June 8th in downtown Memphis. Goals for Thomas Enevoldsen, Kim Do-yoon, and Tyler Pasher that night.
And you take a look at the rosters on both of these teams tonight. It's almost 2 different teams, and yet the results look to be fairly similar.
Good looking run here. Ball played across, back post. Farr couldn't get to it, and a foul has been called against Memphis. Hackshaw and Farr. Player that was closest to it, Brandon Allen, leading goal scorer for Memphis on their roster. He's got 9 goals this season. But he too was an addition, not a loanee, but a trade with Tampa Bay at the end of June. By the way, speaking of Tampa Bay, that is the next match for the Indy 11, and Brad and I will have the call of that one for you on MyIndy TV next Saturday night at 7:30. One of our 3 road telecasts this season. Al Lang Stadium in the heart of St. Petersburg, the site. Tampa Bay lost last night to Loudoun United 2-0. And if this result holds, that means Tampa Bay would be chasing Indy in the table coming into that game.
Just makes it more exciting.
We've referenced kind of where New York is in the table, where Tampa Bay is in the table, Pittsburgh and Nashville, the other teams that are in that 5-team fight right now. Louisville is in 6th. They have a guaranteed playoff spot. The 2-time defending USL Cup champions. The sports this match presented by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. It was one of the 6 road wins this year back at Memphis. They play at AutoZone Park, beautiful downtown baseball stadium in Memphis, home of the Memphis Redbirds. Just a couple of blocks from Beale Street. It's where this expansion franchise plays their games.
Trouble.
Ouimet knocks it across to Hackshaw far. Could have played that with his hands, but didn't take the chance. And Naveau was in an offside position when that ball was played to him. That was not an offensive move, I guarantee you. That was a defensive move, trying to find Naveau. And Connor, a nifty turn. The same could be said for Dane Kelly, but the veteran Liam Doyle is there to play it sideways.
Well played, because if Dane Kelly gets out into space, he's in.
He may have the most fitting home region for a center back, Liam Doyle. He is from the Isle of Man. He's from, it's an island by England, for those of you that don't know your geography of that area. But you are often on an island playing that position. Tough guy that spent some time the last 2 seasons with Nashville SC. Again, this Memphis team reminds me so much of what we saw with the Indy 11 5 years ago in their first season, where you have your initial roster and a few months in you realize, nah, there's still some work left to do. And so credit the Memphis front office, whether it's loans, whether it's trades, whether it's signings. They have really switched things up, and they have given themselves a legitimate shot of making the playoffs. Now, tonight's scoreline is not helping them. It's still early, down 2 goals. Kelly couldn't get the settling touch he was looking for. The match that Memphis fans are watching, other than this one, is between Charleston and Birmingham. That is 10 and 11, and both teams sitting on 39 points going into tonight's contest. So like I said, there are huge matches with playoff ramifications up and down the Eastern Conference table tonight. This is Epps. Run being made. Ball played across. Barrett finds Ouimet. It was Sharpie that is up from his left back spot, playing forward for Memphis. Similarly, Kelly currently playing a more defensive position for the Indy 11. De Silva with the left foot and far up to the challenge. Ball is still in play, and now it crosses the byline for a Memphis corner. Again, even with the absence of Evan Newton, for as outstanding of a goalkeeper as he is, perhaps the best in the history of the USL Championship, there's a lot of confidence, and you see why in Jordan Farr.
That's a great save, because that ball has a little tail on it. Instead of going with one hand or trying to catch it, he goes with 2, gets good solid palm of his hands behind it, and turns it out wide.
The Carmel native in Lindley sends it in. Good read by Carl Ouimet. Now back to midfield for Metzger for Memphis. He played with Penn FC a season ago. Well, folks, if you go back and listen to the podcast of Soccer Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan, we talked with Indy 11 head coach Martin Ernie, but we had an extensive conversation with Cam Lindley. We have sung his praises throughout the course of the broadcast. Ball at his feet right now. The last time I broadcast a sporting event Cam was playing in before tonight was the 3A Boys Basketball State Championship game 4.5 years ago. Much like he's a point guard on the pitch, he was a point guard on the basketball team too, as Garin Catholic won the 3A title for my buddy Pete Smith that night back in March of 2015. Loved our conversation with Cam. Go check it out anytime at 1075thefan.com.
Think of his time at Garin. I mean, that was when Garin was such a powerhouse in both of those sports.
But he didn't play soccer. He was an academy player. So he just played basketball at Garin Catholic.
Imagine yes. Had he, because they were right on the doorstep of doing something iconic.
De Silva deflected. Walker got a boot to it. Ouimet could barely clear space. Again, Memphis has to throw numbers forward, knowing how important a full 3 points is for them tonight. Kelly got the ball first and deflected off a Memphis player. Throw in coming for the 11.
And that's so important that Indy 11 is navigating this pressure well and keeping shots in manageable places, because Memphis is pressing, trying to get one before the half and change the momentum and complexion of this match.
Lindley carving out space as if he were blocking out for a rebound. He'll be the first to tell you he was not the star player on that team. There was a young man named Matt Holbus playing Division I basketball on that team that I think had 29 in the state championship game. Lindley a solid 6 points, 4 assists, and 4 steals in the championship that night.
You're looking at me in the eyes. You're not checking your notes or anything. That continues to amaze me, Rakestraw.
Here's the notes. You can double check. Here's an opportunity for Iose. Flag is down. 2 runners to his right side. Kelly the header. Make it 3. But wave it off. Foul against Kelly. They're going to say he pushed off to get that position. No goal. It remains a 2-goal game. And Dane simply saying, hey, there's a big video board right behind you. The fans will see it as we are watching it right here. Take a look.
Such a great ball by Iose.
Now the defender stumbled. I honestly see why at full speed the referee thought Kelly pushed him in the back.
Right.
But with the benefit of the replay, you can tell the defender was already going down. It probably should have been 3.
Think about how that changes the match right now. 3-0 is virtually impossible for Memphis to come back from.
Again, at full speed, I understand why it was called the way it was. We have the benefit of replay. The referee does not. Somebody's screaming about VAR right now.
But that's
coming in from Memphis.
That's it. Those cries aren't coming from Indy.
Let's see if Memphis can do something with the bit of a break they have just received. Epps going all the way across the park, playing it across. Allen was the target. Barrett did a great job of getting there first. Lindley applying pressure, able to keep it going here for Memphis. 9:01.
That was clever serve by Epps. It was well disguised. Neville Hackshaw does such a great job of stepping in and denying shots and blocking serves. And Epps held his hips to the last moment and then showed it.
By the way, this match presented by Keystone Construction. It's more than construction. Keystone, we build a vision. What impressed me about Memphis is some of these guys, they've only played together for a couple of months. They're a well-connected group. Lindley was added in April. Allen at the end of June. Epps didn't join the club until early August, yet here they are. They've won 5 of their last 6.
And so much of that, when you're going out and looking for players at mid-season, late season, you got to have high soccer IQ guys, because they're coming in, you're trying to blend them with a system and guys they haven't played with, and you can give tactical instructions if they got a high soccer IQ at halftime, and they can tweak and change their game.
Kelly finds some space. Connor to his right, Novoa in front. Connor is the option. Connor looking for Novoa, got to head to it.
Oh my goodness.
And didn't miss the brace by much.
What a great ball by Drew Connor.
Connor 2 goals and an assist in his limited time with the club. Tonight is just his 10th appearance of the season. Take a gander at this one.
Clever too for a one-time ball. Catch the, it looks like one he's going to take a prep touch on and then serve it across. He one-times it. That catches the backs by surprise. Novoa's right there. Great strike.
By the way, fans, next week, Wednesday Night Soccer returns. Taking ESPN News as Birmingham Legion FC continues to fight for the final playoff spot in the East. Hartford Athletic hopes to play the role of spoiler. Wednesday Night Soccer, Birmingham and Hartford, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN News. Expect a good crowd at Dillon Stadium. Hartford Athletic unfortunately opened that place with a loss at the expense of the Indy 11 back on July 13th. Always good to see our buddy Wojciech Vucic in action, a.k.a. Woj, former member of the Indy 11.
Oh, my word. What a ball.
On target. Iose. Kelly. It is a shooting gallery right now for the Indy 11.
Unbelievable. The ball from, who was it, Patty Barrett that served that ball? Was brilliant. And then Iose drops it into the only pocket that Dane Kelly can get it.
Normally we say this about balls that Iose sends to somebody else, not balls that are played to Iose, but a dime by Patty Barrett.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the window over Doyle was tiny, and he got it there.
This team's got to be thinking, where has this been the last 3 weeks? Again, everything has been such a struggle on the road.
It's good to be home.
This team looking for a 24th consecutive home match without a loss. As we met Ben Gimpy on the sidelines right in front of the 4th official. Longest streak in franchise history.
You know, recently I watched a movie, Moneyball. First time I've ever seen it. And that run, it reminded me of Indy 11's run in this building right now.
The Oakland A's having won 20 games in a row towards the end of the 2002 season in that movie. I can see where people can confuse us with Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill. I see where there's a direct correlation to the broadcast booth.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, trivia question, Rake. Who hit that home run for the 20th win?
That would be Scott Hatterberg.
You are incredible.
Oh, come on, Chris Pratt played him. Come on, he was like the focus of the movie. So ball at Hatshaw's feet for the Indy 11. Navoa the target. And the last time the Indy 11 lost in this building, July 4th of 2018 against the Ottawa Fury. Since that time, they have won 15. They have drawn 8. This year, they have won 11 and drawn 4. The last time there was a draw in this building was against Louisville City on June 29th. Since then, wins against Loudoun, Charlotte, St. Louis, New York Red Bulls too. Illich the target. Ottawa and Bethlehem Steel, the last 2 victims to fall to the Indy 11 on September the 11th and September the 14th, respectively.
And look at this, even down 2, Memphis has dropped 10 players behind the ball. They know they cannot give up a third.
Well, and there is a scenario, obviously, if there is a winner in the Birmingham-Charleston match, and they were to lose tonight, now they're 8 points out with 3 to play.
Are you kidding me?
Dialing up the bicycle is Illich. So that's why it will be sending all the torpedoes, if you will, tonight for Memphis 901. Because a draw is okay, a loss more or less knocks them out of the playoffs, of which really they weren't in the playoff hunt until the last month. They had dropped as far south as 17th in the 18-team Eastern Conference. They're now in 12th.
Is that actually a saying, all the torpedoes?
Well, I didn't want to say the word before the torpedoes. People might misconstrue in the broadcast, Darn the torpedoes, there you go. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Because I'd never heard it. I understood what you were talking about.
Right.
Then I'm thinking, okay, what is there, some big Memphis Navy or something I don't know about?
Mississippi River's pretty wide there, but I don't think they have a naval base in Memphis. They got barbecue in Memphis.
Pressure.
That much I know.
Oh, my goodness, do they ever.
Oh, my goodness. If this gets to a 3 or 4 goal game, we can spend more time talking about barbecue.
I think they got a casino there, too, I've been told.
I never left Beale Street when I was down there. I couldn't tell you. But they do. Doyle. Plays it back to the middle of the park. That is Mark Birch. First time we have called his name tonight. Birch is the team captain. Not surprisingly, a 13-year veteran of Major League Soccer. Birch has some ties to state as well. He spent 2 seasons playing at the University of Evansville. Iose.
Wow.
A good run going, but couldn't slide it past Birch. Been a bit of a giveaway. Lament the good overlapping run going with Drew Connor.
You can see a little bit of frustration popping up in the body language of some of the Memphis players. You spend so much energy pressing and trying to trap the 11 in pockets, and they're just one pass ahead.
Ouimet again. Middle of the park for Navoa. This is a passing clinic the Indy 11 are putting on right now. Connor, can he get there in time? No. By the way, this portion of this match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. You see Tim Mulqueen. He is one of the 5 candidates for the coach of the month in September around the USL Championship. I will go ahead and state publicly I voted for Bob Lilly, given the fact that Pittsburgh has gone from really 5th or 6th to 1st during the month of September. That's not to shortchange what Tim has done with a first-year franchise to give them a look at the playoffs going to the final couple of weeks of the season. And after tonight, they play 3 times. After tonight, Indy plays twice. Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of this first half, presented by your Central Indiana Honda Dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
What a touch.
Has Epps to his left, plays him forward.
There's a ball on the backside.
He's got a runner backside that couldn't get to him.
Oh, and he put it on his right. He needed to let it run across his body to his left and then just bend it in behind the last defender. A clever ball right there.
It is Pierre Da Silva. And Lindley will take the corner. This Memphis team has scored 14 times in their last 6 matches. Lindley's been a big part of that. Walker got ahead to it. See who touched it last. It is ruled that Memphis did. Throw in for Indy. Jordan Farr hasn't been tested the last few minutes, but has been up to the challenge when his name has been called tonight. One of the first players re-signed in the offseason. A young man that never played a minute in his rookie campaign. He is a guy that is beloved in the locker room.
And you can't, I mean, you can't overstate it enough. If you're going to really make a serious run, you have to have 2 quality goalkeepers. So when the 11 spotted the talent in Farr, it was an easy decision to re-sign him.
Jose giving Josh Morton motion sickness outside of the 18. Barrett looking for Navoa. Flag stays down. Can he keep it in play? Yes. Kelly with the left foot. Illich was the target. Couldn't find a way to thread him the pass. Now a little breathing room for Memphis 901. By the way, if you're wondering about the 3 numbers, the area code is the reference for Memphis 901 FC. And I love the logo, kind of in reference to the many great clubs up and down Beale Street. They've been averaging just under 7,000 fans a night.
It's just great
in their first season.
You know, there's a bar on Beale Street that has a goat. There's like a tower. There's a tower, and there's a house, and there's a goat at the bar.
And Caldwell watches this one go over the byline. I tend to be a bigger fan of B.B. King's place on Beale Street. That's kind of my spot.
I've been there. I've been there. I mean, Memphis is a big soccer town. They got the Mike Rose Germantown complex, and there's a giant recruiting tournament there multiple times a year for both men and women.
Ouimet able to work his way through the minefield at midfield. Kelly asked for a foul, didn't get it.
Think about that. You're holding up. You're a target. Ball's coming in. You know Doyle is going to be hitting you on your back.
Barrett. And again, De Silva touched it last. Throw in coming for Indy. Patty wearing the captain's armband tonight. A lot of times he has handed off to Matt Watson. That will not happen this evening because Matt picked up a red card on Wednesday night in the loss at Ottawa. So a rare off night for Matty. This will be just the 4th match in which Watson does not play in this year. He has appeared as a substitute 22 times.
And that's crazy. It's such a great resource for Coach Rennie just to have, regardless of the flavor and the feel of that game. You know, Matt Watson can come in and adjust to whatever position, whatever tactics are needed. And tonight, that won't happen, but I'll tell you, he is wearing a sweet hat sitting behind the bench today.
By the way, 1 additional minute is what will be played before halftime. Illustrate read.
Yes, great step.
And now Kelly with Doyle in the neighborhood. Kelly.
Whoa, great ball.
Works it around Doyle. Knocks it past Caldwell, but misses the frame. And that has happened on numerous occasions to Dane this season.
Both just missing, just the ball slotted wide, but also this play right here. He goes so tight into a defender and they battle for the ball, and every time he finds a way to come out with it. I'll tell you what, I think if he would have gone down on that when Doyle was pressing him on the backside, I think it's a PK. But he's such a warrior, he's going to fight through it and try and put it in himself.
Dane is a master of playing that turf bounce.
He really is.
We saw that happen in his last goal here a few weeks ago. Barrett took an inadvertent elbow to the face from Allen, the reason for the stoppage in play. Just a few seconds left. Referee a quick glance, the wristwatch. A second one. No further glance will be required. The Indy 11 have missed some opportunities, yet here they are, Brad. 2 goals to the good going to halftime.
Yeah, you're happy with it, and your message at halftime is going to be, you just got to keep your shape. You just can't open up. That first 15 minutes, Memphis is going to press and try and pull one back.
Halftime show comes your way next. Martin Rennie making quick work towards the locker room, and as promised, the haberdashery of Matt Watson on display.
I could not
to the halftime break.
I could not pull it off.
Neither one of us could. A lot of things that we can't do that Matt Watson does on a regular basis. 2-0, Indy 11 in front, going to halftime. Goals for Christian Novoa and Carl Ouimet. More Indy 11 soccer comes your way next as you're watching on MyIndy TV and ESPN+.
Indy 11 fans, please direct your attention to sections 112 and 113. The YMCA of Greater Indianapolis is celebrating their annual Volunteer Recognition Night this evening. The YMCA is one of the oldest nonprofits in the state. Its impact has grown through the work of committed volunteers. Tonight, the Y is recognizing 2 of its most outstanding volunteers by presenting them with the James L. Kittle Senior Lifetime Achievement Award, the highest honor bestowed on a leader of the YMCA of Greater Indianapolis. The winners of the 2019 YMCA James L. Kittle Senior Award are Steve Corbett and Bart York. Thank you for your dedication and service. Earlier this evening, the YMCA also recognizes top adult and youth volunteers from each local center. They have provided outstanding service to their communities through their involvement with the YMCA. Okay, let's give them a big round of applause.
There's no place like home for the Indy 11. They've dropped their last 4 in a row, but in this building, they haven't lost in 15 months. 2 goals to the good through 45 minutes of play. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. This segment, a look around the USL Championship. First the graphic, then the video. The Charlotte Independents have already been eliminated from playoff competition. However, Independence Park, where they play, is about to get a $31.7 million facelift. There will be a new team in the Western Conference next year as San Diego, a group headed by Landon Donovan. The original thought was they would play in 2021. No, they're going to play next year in 2020. Another new team has been welcomed in USL League One, and this league has got a great Midwestern feel to it with what Peter Wilt has done in Madison, the success in Lansing. Well, how about Union Omaha? If Madison is the Flamingos, they're going with the Owls with Union Omaha. You can check out more information at USL.com or UnitedSoccerLeague.com for more information, as this weekend is the final weekend of the USL League One regular season. Now a look around the best of a week ago from both the championship and League One.